Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the April 30th, 2017 special edition of The Breast There Is, The Breast There Was, and The Breast There Ever Will Be Wrestling Podcast. Today is a bit of a special show, as it is my first predictions show before a pay-per-view event. And tonight's pay-per-view is WWE's Payback 2017, which is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view event. As I mentioned in a previous podcast, I'm not going to be reviewing any pre-show matches, as I consider them a bit unworthy since the pay-per-view's already run very long as it is. So tonight's event already has 7 matches, and I decided to give my predictions today, the day of the pay-per-view, because the WWE has a tendency to sometimes change their lineups or change stipulations, things like that, a few days before the match. And this pay-per-view is no exception. I'll get to that a little bit later on when I discuss one of the matches, which the stipulation did definitely change. So anyways, here we go to the matches. The first match I'll be reviewing is Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Both guys are looking really strong right now, and both guys actually have a history of hurting their opponents in actuality. Seth Rollins injured Sting and Finn Balor in recent years, and Samoa Joe, 2 years ago, also injured and ended the career of Tyson Kidd, who was the last graduate of the famous Hart Dungeon in Calgary. Samoa Joe so far is undefeated on the main program of WWE since he was promoted from NXT. And since both guys are looking strong, I have to say that this one's going to be a dirty victory, and I think Samoa Joe will be the victor, with some distraction by likely Stephanie McMahon and or Triple H, but I think Stephanie's going to make her return tonight and cause a distraction to give Joe the victory, and that way Seth Rollins doesn't look weak by losing in a dirty way. The next match is for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, which is champion Neville versus Austin Aries. I think this will be a very close matchup, as these two fought on the WrestleMania 33 pre-show, which of course I didn't watch because I don't watch the pre-shows. And Austin Aries was close to victory that time, and I believe he will also be looking like he'll finally win the championship tonight, except for the fact that the heel Neville now has TJ Perkins in his little stable, and since TJ Perkins turned to a heel a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. So I have a feeling TJ Perkins will interfere with the match, which will result in Neville keeping his title and probably setting up another fight with Austin Aries in the future. So Neville will be the victor here, retaining his championship. Next is the Raw Women's Championship, featuring champion Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. This is an interesting match because Bayley is in front of her home crowd tonight in California, I believe in Oakland. And so a lot of people would probably believe that she's going to retain her championship. Alexa Bliss, though, she's one of the biggest names to move over to Monday Night Raw in the Superstar Shakeup, which occurred a few weeks prior. And I believe since Alexa Bliss is probably one of the highest profile women wrestlers in the WWE right now, that I believe she's going to get the upset victory, getting even more heat from the crowd. So Alexa Bliss will be crowned the new WWE Raw Women's Champion tonight. The fourth match I have is for the Raw Tag Team Championship, which has champions Hardy Boys versus Sheamus and Cesaro. The Hardy Boys made such a triumphant return to the WWE 4 weeks ago at WrestleMania 33, that winning the WWE Raw Tag Team Championships in a ladder match that night. And I believe with such a great response from the crowd with their return, that I don't think that they're going to drop the titles just yet. So even though Sheamus and Cesaro will put on a good match with these two, I think that Hardy Boys will retain the championships certainly for a little while longer, so they will win tonight. Next is for the United States Championship, which will have United States champion Kevin Owens defending it against Chris Jericho. This match has a special stipulation that if Chris Jericho does win, he will bring his title over to SmackDown. So I believe that with such a kind of unusual stipulation only for one competitor, that I believe Chris Jericho will win the match tonight, and that he will come to SmackDown and continue his feud with Kevin Owens, which, to be honest, was one of the best booked feuds of the past 12 months. So I think if they didn't make him win, it'd be kind of stupid to even have this stipulation. So Chris Jericho will win the championship tonight and go to SmackDown Live. The next match is Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt in a House of Horrors match. Now, this was the match that I am referring to where the stipulations did change. A few weeks ago, it was stated that this would be for the WWE Championship, which Randy Orton won from Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33. But since Bray Wyatt has moved over to Monday Night Raw and Randy Orton is staying put on SmackDown Live, it appears that the championship is removed from the match altogether, which it seems like happened merely a few days ago. So that's, to me, this was a more intriguing match, except for the fact that now that it's not for the title, it's now a lot less interesting. So yeah, leading up to this pay-per-view, this was, to me, the match that there was the most uncertainty surrounding it. So, but now that this is no longer for the WWE Championship, I got to say that it's got to be that Bray Wyatt wins this match. I mean, seeing as how he proposed this brand new House of Horrors match, I think it would be so ridiculous if he doesn't win, especially since he won his very first WWE Championship just in February, and he already lost it a month and a half later at WrestleMania 33. Bray Wyatt's easily one of the most underrated talents in the WWE, and certainly moving over to Monday Night Raw, he should get a bit of a push from Randy Orton, since Orton's not even going to lose his championship now. So yeah, I'm going to say Bray Wyatt's going to win this match. And finally, the main event of the evening has Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Even though Braun Strowman's been wreaking havoc all over the WWE and causing so much carnage over the past 3 weeks, including in that the beginning of the carnage was on Roman Reigns, when Reigns was on a stretcher and was flipped off a platform where the trucks are loading in the stadium. So regardless of all that, I still think that since Roman Reigns defeated The Undertaker 4 weeks ago at WrestleMania 33, and as rumors are surrounding now that that ended The Undertaker's career, there's no way that the WWE is going to make Roman Reigns lose so fast after defeating The Undertaker. I mean, it's very clear to all of us fans that Roman Reigns is being built by the company as the next face of the company, despite the resistance from the crowd in the WWE universe. But yeah, regardless of Strowman's ridiculous strength and his imposing figure and his dominance over the past several weeks, Roman Reigns will be the victor tonight and reestablishing himself as the top dog. So anyways, those are all the matches tonight. So hopefully you enjoy the show, and hopefully it does provide a few surprises for us. So thanks for listening, and if you liked what you heard today, please subscribe to my channel below. And yeah, thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you all next time.